I packed. I bought the tickets. I left a note on the table. It was a sunny day. I was waiting for the bus. Beside me there was an old gentlewoman around 80. When I was young I worked there. She pointed at the factory in front of us. It was an enormous building, too old and run down, dirty. It got on everybody's nerves because it reminded us that once here there were factories and jobs, but now everything is closed without a reason, and those horrible buildings were still here. I listened to the old woman's story. It was 1969. My husband died and I never worked before. At that time men worked and women stayed at home with their children. I had 2 little girls. One was 14 and the other 8 years old. I was scared. I didn't know what to do, so I applied for a job as a dressmaker because I knew how to sew. I started to work in June. Occasionally, she looked up the road to see if the bus was arriving. Then she continued, "Look at it now, awful. Now this road is so empty and dangerous, but when the factory was open, this road was full of people." How was it being a worker at that time? We started work at 8 a.m. until midday, then we had a little time to eat. Then we started to work again from 1 o'clock until 5. We could choose if we wanted to eat something in the staff canteen or eat some sandwich we prepared at home in the garden. Personally, I preferred eat in the garden, so I couldn't hear the noise of the machine during the break. During the winter, it was very warm because of the vapor, but in the summer, it was terrible. We sweated, we felt like melting. The bus arrived, but I let it go. I wanted to know more about that story. How did you manage with your daughters? The gentlewoman looked down, then smiled, and continued her story. I did my best. I woke up early in the morning to buy bread, milk, something for lunch. I put everything down at home, then I took my bag and ran to the bus stop. I was worried about my daughters. At that time there weren't mobile phones. Even if there had been, I didn't have the money to buy one. I knew deep in my heart that suddenly they had to deal with almost everything. But where there is necessity, there is no time for tricks. She looked at the road again, then looked at the old factory. At night, here it's dangerous and dark. In the winter, the day is short and the night lasts longer, but when the factory was here, we weren't afraid of anything. There were a lot of people here on this side of the road and on the other. The air was full of voices, smiles, whistles. We were proud because we were women and we worked for our family like men. We were happy. How about your first working day? Tough, challenging, but remember, where there is necessity, there is no time for tricks. I don't complain about anything, because I had what you can have and will never have, a job. Look at it. Look at that horrible concrete building. Weeds, rats and concrete, too much concrete. How many other masses of concrete are here? Do you know how many people work there? More than 1,000. Thousands of hope take off the street and away from a life of crime. Thousands of hopeful people worked on those sewing machines. When people think about factories, they think about enormous buildings, but they are wrong. People are factories, factories are people. All those closed factories mean a lot of people abandoned to the road, mean desperation, and you have to feel scared of a desperate man or woman. Is that your boss? I said, but I hoped I was wrong. I would have liked to continue that talk for hours. Yes, sweetie. Good luck for everything, and remember, where there is necessity, there is no time for tricks. I remember. Have a nice day. The woman got on the bus slowly, the ticket on her hand. I looked at her hands and I thought of her gestures so calm for such emotional story. I would like to know about her retirement, about her daughters, and where she was going. Her face lined with sacrifices remained in my head. I stared at the old factory, and I felt anger, sadness, bitterness, and hatred. That image was a brutish, bad, despotic reminder. I got on my bus. Up there, I could see all the useless buildings, all the same, all so big. Miles and miles of abandoned concrete. Once there were lives, now there is death. How many things could be created in those spaces? These buildings prevent children from going out to play, prevent them from dreaming. They leave no space for bushes in which teenagers can hide to kiss. They deny adults a place where they can relax after work. All those buildings, so old and so run down, are dictators of poverty and terror. They impose a death-like silence on all the people they have denied the right to live.